Saturday and Sunday, October 5th and 6th at the Honda Casino Resort in Pine Top, Arizona. 1028 Productions and Whispering Pines Resort Cabins is proud to present Disclosure Con 2019. The one event in the White Mountains where sci-fi and sci-reality collide under one roof. There will be vendors, photo ops, cosplay characters, speakers, artists, YouTube celebs, researchers, and more. Scheduled to appear, President Dwight D. Eisenhower's great-granddaughter, Laura Eisenhower. Published author, inventor, and host of X Square Radio, Brooks Agnew. Hosts of the YouTube hit show, Edge of Wonder, Ben Chastain and Rob Counts. Creator of the children's shows, Growhams and Friendlyans, Joel Christopher Payne. Actress, model, musician, and ufologist speaker Paula Asteria. Host of The Leak Project, the legend himself, Rex Bear. Award-winning Sholo MUFON director, David Loomis. Leading paranormal researcher from the UK, Don Phillips. Creator and host of the SciSpy.tv network, Suzanne Ross. From the YouTube show Mysterious Forces Live, Natasha Nix. From the SciSpy TV network show World Stompers, Brad Olson. Directors of Arizona MUFON and Phoenix MUFON, Stacey Wright and Jim Mann. And from the show 1028 Live and your host for Disclosure Con 2019, Doc Skinner. For more info, tickets, or VIP passes, please go to disclosurecon.com. You can also purchase tickets or VIPs at Big Kid Gamer Lounge in Lakeside, Arizona. VIP pass holders receive early access both days of entry to VIP after party Saturday night at the legendary Lodge Bar and Grill in Pine Top with our guest speakers and DJ Jay Allen playing music all night. Entry to Sunday night's fireside chat with our guest speakers and you. Get your tickets or VIP passes now. Yep. Good evening, good afternoon, good morning. Whoops, Doc Skinner here. This is starting to become a habit. Unfortunately, I got friends that do the same thing on their show, but on purpose. Me, I'm like, ugh. All right, so I hope you're all having a good day. Oh, wow, everybody's already jumping on. Cheryl, Jason, Wendy. Oh, hello. Can you hear me now? Sorry about that. O'Brien has joined. Brandon has joined. What's up, Doc? I like that. That's original, Jason. Haven't heard that one yet. Prince Fleet, hey, how you doing, sir? Thank you for joining. All right, so it is Tuesday, right? I think it's Tuesday because this whole doing it all 4 days this week is just throwing me off. But it's the 24th of September. I'm Doc Skinner. This is 1028 Live, and we got a show for you tonight. Oh, yes, we do. But we're going to get the bills paid up front. We're going to talk to you about Disclosure Con, which is coming up in less than 2 weeks, October 5th and 6th at the Honda Casino Resort in Pine Top, Arizona. Get your tickets now. Get your rooms now. Get your transportation now. Whatever you got to do, your rental car, get it now because it's going quick. It's going to be big, and we got amazing speakers that are going to be there. I'm going to mention them in just a minute. If you're a parent and you're like, man, I want to go, but I got my kids 12 and under are free with paid adult tickets. So you can go online right now to disclosurecon.com and get your tickets. You can also see the promo videos and the information bios on all the speakers and the vendors that are going to be there. It's going to be pretty huge. Total, I think we have 32 booths slash vendors slash speakers, sponsors. It's going to be awesome. So who's going to be there, you ask? Let me tell you. We've got President Dwight D. Eisenhower's great-granddaughter, Laura Eisenhower. She's going to be speaking. We've got actress, model, musician, ufologist, speaker. And by the way, when I say actress, Star Trek Picard coming out, new show. Yeah, she's going to be there. Paula Asteria. Then we have from the show Leak Project, Rex Bear. He's going to be traveling down from Colorado. Then we've got our own local member of MUFON, David Loomis. From the UK, #1 leading paranormal investigator, Don Phillips. And let me tell you, this dude is the real deal. I went and spent 5 days with him in Seattle a couple weeks ago. Oh, no joke. You will be blown away. Our dear friend, Brooks Agnew, is going to be speaking. We've got the boys from Edge of Wonder on YouTube, the hit show. Rob Counts and Ben Chastain. We've got the leading artist in the world for Disney, Joel Christopher Payne. He'll be joining us, and he's got some special treats. He's bringing all his artwork. If you're into buying art, this is the art you want to get. Um, I mean, he's Disney's top artist in the world. I mean, I can't say it enough. You got to check it out. But he created Groams, the cartoon show for kids, and the new show series called Friendlians, which is really cool. So if you imagine Mr. Rogers, Sesame Street, Smurfs rolled into a Furby from outer space, that's the Friendlians, teaching kids to be good. So check it out. It's the #1 parenting app right now, $1.99. Check it out. Also, amazing ball of light. You cannot be sad around this woman, Suzanne Ross, the founder and hostess of Sci-Spy TV Network. She's going to be there speaking. Natasha Nix from Mysterious Forces Live. She's going to be there with her booth doing interviews, and she'll have her alien guitar. Then we also have Brad Olson from World Stompers. He's going to be there talking about his recent trip to Antarctica, and I will have some footage because the footage is awesome, and I'm getting to edit it, so you will be amazed. So anyway, so there's that. Then we have our other guests who are joining us tonight. They are from Arizona State MUFON and Phoenix MUFON. I'm just, I can't tell you. I'm excited to see what they're going to talk about, because this is the Arizona State MUFON. I mean, all the stuff goes through them. So I'm hoping they got something cool to talk about tonight, and a little bit about what may they be covering at DisclosureCon. So let's see. I covered everything about DisclosureCon. Got to do the sponsors real quick. Say thank you to everybody. And when you come to DisclosureCon, we will have our program book for the event. This is last year's. It's our comic book program, and it's got the speakers in there. And now, don't worry, I was marking these out because we were working on this year's. This is the demo. Not like I have a problem against Dylan Monroe, and I'm just saying they were anyway. So that's all going to be put together. Actually, is being put together right now. And so you want to be sure to get a copy of that. So I want to say thank you to all of our sponsors and speakers and vendors: Joel Christopher Payne, Rex Bear, Rob and Ben from Edge of Wonder, Natasha Nix, Big Kid Gamers Lounge in Lakeside, one of the places you can get your tickets at. Paula Asteria, Mike Mahoney Photography. If you don't know who this is, he's legendary. Go to Mike Mahoney Photography. Look at his photos; they're magical. He loves doing cosplay, and just check it out. He'll be there taking some amazing photos. Darmar Productions and the Sholo Film Festival. Laura Eisenhower, David Loomis, Brooks Agnew, Don Phillips, Stacey Wright, and Jim Mann, Brad Olson and Emily Infinity, Suzanne Ross, Clifford Mahudi, and Kesslin Louise Baird, Jim Goodall, who's going to be appearing. He won't be speaking this year, but we're going to have him scheduled for next year. If you know about the SR-71 and the Area 51, well, he's associated to both, so you want to come meet him. White Mountain Tees for hooking us up with our t-shirts. Oh my gosh, these t-shirts are sweet. I'm not wearing it today. I'm wearing Sweet Peas. They're one of our sponsors, so I got to represent them too. Renewal by Anderson, John Ferris, Visionary Arts. His booth is going. I mean, guys, girls, everybody, you want to check this stuff out. I don't think they could have cooler jewelry on Star Trek. I mean, it's just beautiful stuff. Quilla Ryder, she's going to be there with stem cell patches, and these things supposedly work really well. You got to check it out. Louis Alcantar, he's an author of the book Precious Life. He'll be there. Raymond Bell. Now this is a cool old guy that lives off grid, and he makes ray guns, rubber band ray guns, because his name is Raymond. So Raymond Ray Guns is what it is. So he'll be there. Chris LaPrath, he's going to be talking about the Inner Explorer, or he'll have information on. He'll have a booth. Duhan James, a local artist from New Mexico, does UFO art. He'll be there as well with his t-shirts. Nightfire Tattoos. If you're feeling really, really, really crazy and you want to do something to truly remember your trip to DisclosureCon, we got a tattoo artist there. Brad Molnar, he'll be there as well. Sarah Gelbreth with My Fairy Tale. She does all these cute Comic-Con heads in a pot. So it's kind of like Audrey 2 from Little Shop of Horrors, but it's, Deadpool and, all these other characters, Batman and whatnot. So she'll be there as well. And if I forgot anybody, gosh darn it, please forgive me. I got a lot of stuff here. All right, comic book done. Information done. Let's get on with the show, shall we? Ladies and gentlemen, if they can hit the unmute button, I would like to introduce to you Jim Mann and Stacey Wright from Arizona State MUFON and Phoenix MUFON.
Hi, everybody.
Hi, Doc. How you doing?
Doing
What's
good.
up, Doc?
A little winded right now. So, you guys are like the state reps for MUFON, right?
Yes, sir.
Is that safe to say? And are you going? Let's. I just want to go right to it. So, you're going to show us an alien? I mean, I'm sure you get some really cool intel.
I'm not sure I'm not looking at one right now. You know
what?
I'm not sure that I'm not looking at one right now. So. No, we don't have an alien to bring with us, but I wish we did.
Yeah. So, how long have you guys been involved with MUFON? I mean, to get to that position. I mean,
Stacey and I started the Phoenix MUFON chapter, the organization, in 2007, October of 2007. So, and we have hosted a guest down here for our chapter. Every month, without fail, since 2007, we've had a different guest, and we have been investigating cases ourselves and our current organization that long. So 13 years.
Wow.
Yeah,
wow.
There's been a lot of great guest speakers come across our stage, and we've had a lot of great conversations with people. We don't have that alien to bring to you right now, though. We just don't have that, but we keep trying. So we keep learning, and we keep trying to educate everyone else by doing that. And it's just been a lot of fun for the last 13 years.
Well, you know, I want to hear more about you guys, as well as MUFON, maybe a little elevator pitch of what you're going to be bringing to the table at the event. And there was one other thing I was going to say. Oh yeah, I want to get your opinions on certain videos that have been out there. We're not going to show them because some of them are the ones I'm going to talk about are so well known. You'll know what I'm talking about, like the Tic Tac video, for example.
Right.
They just admitted, you know, Navy's coming out, and they're going, "Yep, it's real."
Yeah.
Do you feel a sense of vindication?
Yes.
Oh, absolutely.
Absolutely.
All that 13 years was for a reason.
And you know, all the people that we've talked to that shook their heads, and all those skeptics out there, well, now look what's going on, and it's still rolling on. There's still some stuff coming out, and I think there's going to be some really cool stuff coming out within the next month, at least according to the Stars Academy. And so yeah, it's really exciting times.
And that was going to be actually my next question about the To the Stars Academy. Did I say that correctly, right? To the Stars Academy. Now, that's only been around for 2 years, correct?
Right.
Yeah, 2 years.
Yes. And he pulled in some heavy hitters. He did. Wasn't it a boss from Area 51 or somebody?
Well, they've got people from the CIA. They've got people from the Pentagon. They've got all the high rollers in all the areas that really matter. So yeah, it's a cast of great people. Yeah.
It really is. And let's see, even though they have been catching some flack because, you know, him being a rock star and everything, which I'm like, more power to you. Use that platform if you can do it.
One thing we've been trying to do is to bring younger people into this subject. So I think with Tom DeLonge and his fame with Blink 182, they're bringing some younger people in, and a lot more people are listening than just the 45 plus years people out there. So we need the young people in here because there are tomorrow. So yeah, we got to get them involved.
Yeah,
we're actually starting to see younger folks come to our monthly meeting. That's actually becoming something that you just see more often. These younger folks, people we don't know, and they come drifting in every month. So that's kind of cool to see these young folks coming.
Well, real quick, because oh my gosh. All right. Hold on, we got to do some hellos before I get lost in it. It's it's kind of off the chain. All right, so let's see. Nancy has joined, Mark, Gren, and Karen, Anita, Philip, Patty, Courtney, Thomas, Jay, Vicky, message. And sometimes I'll go over because they're having their own little conversations in here. Cassandra, Joe, Timothy, Nancy, Sandy, Marga, Randy, Joel, Shannon, Joey, Eva, Tasha. Let's see. Doc is an alien. I'm looking, and thanks, Joel, for the backup. I guess I am. Let's see. Sweet Peas in the house. Looking forward to meeting at Disclosure Con crew. Alice Goodman and Ricky, thank you so much for jumping on board with us. If you guys have any questions, please keep them concise so I can just read it and get it done. If you have any questions for our guests, and if you got something you want to show, then I think they need to come to Disclosure Con to show you. Don't you guys think so?
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Come on out. It's going to be a great time up there. You're not going to find a better location with more beauty, better weather, great folks up there, good information. It's going to rock.
Oh, yes. Yeah, it's going to be a lot of fun. And so anyway, got those shout outs real quick. We'll come back to them again later. When is the MUFON monthly meeting? Someone did ask that. That is kind of, I mean, for you guys, you do it in Phoenix, correct?
Yeah. Every month it's a little bit different. It's based on the availability of the speaker and the availability of the venue. So if you just go to our website every month, it is updated with the new stuff for that month, the date, the time, the subject, the title of the lecture. You'll be able to see all that. So that's phoenixmufon.com. And you can always see that information. So we did just have a meeting this last Saturday, and we had Dr. Kevin Healy, who's an astronomer, the head of the astronomy department at Mesa Community Colleges. So he came in and told us all about the interstellar object Oumuamua that has been in our space, and that was really interesting. So our next speaker is going to be Don Schmidt, and that will be October 19th, Saturday, October 19th in Phoenix. It's actually the border of Tempe and Scottsdale at the Arizona Historical Society Museum. So it's a great location, and you can find out maps and details and times and all that stuff just by going to our website, phoenixmufon.com.
It's always on a Saturday. It starts at noon. We're done by 3 o'clock. So if you plan on going, you can bet it's always going to be on a Saturday. It may not always be the first or second or third Saturday. It just depends, like Stacey said, on the schedule. But always on a Saturday.
And you're on Facebook too, right?
Yeah, we are on Facebook.
Okay. All right. Well, I tagged you in case anybody, wants to connect that way as well.
Good.
Now, I had an encounter almost 2 years ago here in town. I know exactly what it was. It was a TR-3B, and it was low to the ground, and it just kind of was like it was on water almost. Later, I did more research, found out about the stabilizers, the faster it goes, blah, 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 blah. But I reported it. It was my first report. So I found out there's steps that you have to go so that it can be sent to the right person and all that. Could you explain to somebody so they don't just call you up like a 911 call? There's one right now. What does somebody need to do if they want to report? Now, it doesn't have to be like it happened tonight. I mean, it could have happened last week, last month, right? It doesn't have to be immediate.
Well, this is going to be one of the things that we're going to talk about in the presentation.
Okay.
The way we're going to work this is I'm going to introduce MUFON to the folks, let you know how to do what you've just asked.
Okay.
And to answer your question, if you see something that you don't recognize, you think it's a UFO, and let me say this, and you're willing to work with one of our field investigators, okay? Go to MUFON.com, and on the website there is an area where you see it'll say report a UFO. You click on that tab, then you fill out a form, and this is completely anonymous. Nobody else sees this information except MUFON and Stacey and I, and whoever is going to work on your case. Once you fill out the form, it becomes a case. It's given a case number. It comes down to us, and we are notified of the case. And we at that point assign a field investigator to your case. That field investigator will contact you within 72 hours of receiving the case. And so when you do turn in a report to MUFON, please be ready to talk about it with one of our field investigators. Don't just report it and then walk away.
Well, when someone sees something, even me, I was like, why don't they just pull the camera out, you know? But it's shock, because you're like, oh my, it is real. I mean, you're stunned for the first time. So I can understand where people like, I just didn't get my camera out in time, or I caught the last end of it, because you're afraid to blink, then it's going to disappear. So what kind of suggestions would you give to the public when they see something? Should they grab their phone and record an audio of them describing what they saw? Should they draw something right away? How long before things start disappearing in memory or get exaggerated?
Of course,
what's the best thing to do?
Yeah, the sooner the better. I mean, the best thing to do is to grab someone and say, hey, did you see that? You know, and get someone else to see it with you.
Mm-hmm.
Grab your phone if you can, record it. Try to just make note of what you're seeing. Is it a light? What color is it? Is it blinking? Is it moving? What do you think the elevation is in the sky? You know, just try to get a little bit of information and try to retain that. But yeah, when people see stuff, it's the unknown and it rocks their world. It really just changes things. So it's hard to remember things, but you just do the best you can. You know, not everyone is an expert at this. So you just do the best you can and, you know, report it to us, write it down as soon as you can. And then when you go in to report it to MUFON, you can transfer your notes into something, you know, the case that we have on the computer there. They can, you know, fill out that form and submit it. So you just do the best you can. We understand that you were shook a little bit and, you know, there might be a few F-bombs in there in that recording that you send in to us. Understandable. Yeah.
I'm sure you got a few of those videos.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Now, what have you come to find to be some of the most compelling things that have just driven you even more to go, oh, game on, next level. All right, let's go. What kind of things have come across your path that you're just were?
Well, I think the UFO phenomena is very real and very alive, but the majority of things that people see are completely explainable, and that's okay because we want people to tell us what they're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
Because we might like last year we got 300 and some cases. Okay, we investigated every one of those cases personally. We did interviews, we documented, we archived evidence. We came up with dispositions of the case. And after all those cases and after all that thorough investigation, out of those 300, maybe 15 actually came back as a genuine unknown. So now our field investigators are well trained, certified field investigators. We've got some of the best people in the country helping folks find out what they saw in the sky. And so we are very confident that after the thorough investigation, if our field investigators cannot find out what you saw that night, and you can bet it's going to be an unknown. It's going to be something very anomalous.
Mm-hmm. Now, with the new Space Force that has been created, there is speculation, and I've considered the concept that Space Force was brought out because too many secret space program ships were seen and misidentified as alien craft, and the Space Force is just a way for them to go, oh, well, yeah, it's probably Space Force. Just ignore it. Do you think that that speculation has any accuracy to it?
Yeah, I think so. I mean, it could be anything that we're seeing up there. I think a lot of the stuff that people are seeing in the skies is our own stuff. Our technology is so far beyond what we can even imagine that they're keeping hidden from us that there's all kinds of cool stuff flying around out there.
Yeah.
But it's the things that you're seeing out there that don't move like anything you've ever seen before. Okay, we don't have things that can do complete right angle turns at that G-force we don't have that technology. We just don't. So when you're seeing a light in the sky, then yeah, there's a lot of lights in the sky. There's traffic up there of satellites and stuff going by. But when you see things that do things that are completely anomalous, and they make these right angle turns, they stop, they reverse, they do stuff like that, that's probably not ours.
Yeah.
The speeds at which they're cruising up there, and to stop and maneuver like that, I just don't think we have that technology yet. There's some crazy stuff up there. So the Space Force stuff could be part of what we're seeing up there. There's just all kinds of things. There's a lot more than just lights in the sky that we look at too. I mean, we look at things that are closer to the ground as well. I mean, we have a lot of meetings there's a lot of people in our group that are interested in the whole cryptid thing. So I myself am a big fan of Bigfoot. So I like looking into the Bigfoot stuff, and we've had 2 or 3 different speakers come in numerous times talking to us about the new findings on Sasquatch and what's going on out there. So it's very interesting stuff. We've actually got Todd Standing going to come in and talk to us in February. So he's on.
I would love to know one of these Bigfoot, because that's one of the elements of DisclosureCon I haven't been able to accomplish, is find a Bigfoot researcher, a good one, and have them come speak. So we might have to talk about that later.
Yeah, we will.
This is Bigfoot territory.
There's lights in the sky. There's orbs that are closer to the ground. There's things that people are seeing on the ground. There's things that people are seeing that look like they're coming out of the ground, out of the ocean. Okay, that's a real biggie right now. Yeah. We know so little about what is under our ocean. We know more about the surface of Mars right now than we know about our ocean floor.
Right.
So there's all kinds of crazy stuff that I think is, the unidentified submerged objects, they're called the USOs, seem to be almost just as common as the UFOs that are flying.
Yeah, even way back in history, they were reported by captains, hundreds of years ago, seeing bright lights. I think that's something that inspired 20,000 Leagues of the Sea, where in the scene where they see the light coming under the ships. It was Captain Neo. Was that his name? Anyway, but yeah, I think little bits of information like that have been leaked out even before we were all, working with MUFON and into all this stuff.
There's a few things like that I'm going to talk about in my portion of the talk up there at the DisclosureCon. So we'll be talking about that as well.
And there's one thing I want to say here for all your listeners. When people report their objects to MUFON, okay, we investigate it the best we can. And we will pull together all the supporting data that we find, and we will make a decision. Now, MUFON is not the end-all, be-all. You know what you saw. And what we have is the leftovers as the investigator. And so we will take the information you give us, we'll see if we can expand on that, and then we'll come to a conclusion. But that may not be exactly what you saw, but it's going to be our conclusion will be based on the data that we have. Now, you may not, and this happens more often than not, people disagree with what our conclusion is. And that's fine. That's absolutely fine. So when you when you report to MUFON and we come and we investigate your case, at the end of the day, we're going to suggest to you what you might have seen. Okay. You were the person that witnessed the event, and that's going to stick with you for life.
Yeah.
And so, we're like I said, we're not the end all be all, but we're pretty good at finding out what's in the night sky. But just remember that if you don't agree with us, that's fine. That's fine. No harm done. We've gone and we've done our job, and we've tried to help you. So that's what that's all about.
And if anyone is interested in becoming a field investigator for MUFON, that's completely doable as well. We'd take anyone, anyone's interest that wants to come talk to us about that. There's an exam that you have to, pass. You have to pass some background check information and sign some confidentiality paperwork, but it's really fun. I mean, we've got 17 field investigators in just the state of Arizona right now, and we work together as a great team, and everyone's got just a little bit different personalities and credentials, and there's some really well-educated people doing this. It's not just regular Joe Schmoes out there doing it. Not that you can't be, but the field investigator thing is
I'm
really
a Joe
fun.
Schmo.
I'm a Stacey Schmo.
Yeah.
Yeah, I am. I'm a Schmo. But it's a lot of fun. So if people are interested in becoming a field investigator, we can help you do that.
Okay. Now, you work on these cases.
Mhm.
Yes.
What about the two of you? What have you seen anything yourselves?
Well, I've got an entire. There's a reason everybody's in MUFON.
I kind of figured, so I figured it was a safe question to ask.
Yeah, I have a history in my entire family stretching back to when I was a child at various things that I could go into. It'd be lengthy conversations, but yeah, I've seen a few UFOs in my time. I'm also what we call an experiencer. Okay, so I've had an experience with what I remember to be off-world people, extraterrestrials. So that's why I'm in MUFON. And I want answers. And when I joined MUFON back in 2006, 2005, 2006, I was looking for answers. I never realized I'd wind up being the Arizona State Director for MUFON. I was just looking for answers, okay, to my own curiosity. And yeah, so I've got questions myself. I still do, but the majority of my questions have been answered. Are we being visited? Absolutely. The evidence is overwhelming.
Yeah, I think it's time to retire the question, are we alone?
Exactly.
It's been like a Groundhog Day for 40 years, it feels like.
It's a greater stretch of faith to assume that we're alone than it is to realize that we can't possibly be alone in this universe.
And we're not out to prove that to anyone.
No.
We don't even want to try to prove that to anyone. We don't need to anymore. It's proven itself.
Yeah.
Mhm.
So we just want to find out more about who's driving, who they are, what their origins are, what the agenda is. That's the interesting stuff now. We know what's happening. We just want to find out some more details surrounding it. So
The purpose behind it.
yeah.
So I mentioned to you guys before we went on, we will be doing an experiencers group meeting 9 a.m. on Saturday and Sunday, where people can come into a safe place, no recordings, and you can tell other people that have had maybe similar experiences and not feel alone, because a lot of people do. They don't realize, because they may have an isolated kind of life. They're just always on the computer, or they're a housewife or husband, and they don't get out much, or they're with the kids or taking care of 6 kids. But they have this experience that they don't feel that they're afraid. A lot of people are afraid to talk to their families.
Yeah.
I was afraid to talk to mine. I mean, I wasn't really afraid. I talked to them and they thought it was a nut job. Now, of course, they are like, oh, okay, well, you were right. And where was I going with this? I heard a noise and it threw me
The
off.
experiencer sessions.
Yes, the experiencer session. So, we got a separate conference room closed off for that, for privacy. But if we had like an onslaught of people that wanted to tell their stories, we may put it in the main room. Don't know. We'll see how it goes the first day. But I remember they were doing that when I met you guys at the UFO Congress in Phoenix, that they were having those morning breakfast coffee meetings. And I thought, that's brilliant, because I know there's people up here that have had experiences.
It's considered a safe space for people. So there's no ridicule factor in there. There's no giggle factor. People are going to take you seriously. There's compassion in there. You're going to find out similar stories. You might find some pieces to the puzzle that you've been looking for. You might be able to connect some dots. So they're really great places to go and find like-minded people.
Right. And that's in the experiencer groups. This is another testament to the reality of the UFO phenomena and the fact that this planet is being engaged by an extraterrestrial sort. All these people that have had experiences, they all share many of the same experiences. People that would otherwise not have anything to do with each other, sharing the same experience. And these are good people, salt of the earth folks, professionals from all walks of society and economic levels, and they all share the same thing. That in itself, the experiencers, is one of the greatest testimonies to this phenomena. So, and I don't really consider it. It's not a secret anymore. This thing is really happening. So,
Yeah, it's not, and for a while it was like an open secret, but now it's right out there. And that's because I've been in the entertainment industry for a long time, and I've seen how entertainment's been used to be the soft disclosure over time. I've always believed, War of the Worlds was a test. We didn't pass.
It could have been.
So they decided, okay, we're just going to give it a little at a time, not just a full invasion, and I've seen it, and I've seen how scripts and movies are giving those little bits of truth. For example, The Abyss. This is going way back. The movie The Abyss. They put the guy in the liquid oxygen suit. Never was heard of before unless you were in top government groups or Navy SEALs or something. You knew that it existed. But that was a way for people to know, oh my gosh, yeah, that makes sense. Like before we're born, we're in liquid. And yeah. So that, and I always say Star Trek because all of their technology, Gene had to have been at Roswell. He was one of the men in black, and then got out. So I'm going to be a comic book writer and then a sci-fi writer. That's how it went. Or he's a time traveler. But that's what Disclosure Con's all about, is showing how sci-fi and sci-reality influence each other, and also influence a cultural shift in our society. Of course, we went from My Favorite Martian and E.T. and all those to Alien and Munchies and all these crazy alien movies where you're always going to die.
Right. It's always a horror flick. Yeah.
Right. So
one of the great things about The Abyss, the aliens were friendly.
Yeah.
Right. And that was because, we never explored, which was a brilliant concept for a story. I think James Cameron did that one, right? Yeah, it's James. Yeah. He's alien. He's
gotta be.
all those celebrities you saw in Men in Black, they're really aliens. They have to. George Lucas, yeah, Spielberg. They all knew something, like Close Encounters, the meeting at the end. We all know about where that
information. They definitely do. Yeah.
Yeah. I do want to talk to Laura about that off, site, and just tell me the real thing that happened at that airbase with your grandpa. Yeah. So, all right. So let's see. We've talked a lot about stuff. Talked about because I don't want you giving away everything, because I want you to bring.
Well, let me give you one teaser on part of the talk that I'm going to give. Jim and I speak around to a lot of libraries and service groups and community colleges and places like that. And the places that we speak to at the community colleges are the world religions classes, which is really interesting. And these kids, this isn't news to them. They know what's going on. They know what we're talking about. So they've been watching their Ancient Aliens as well, okay? But a lot of the groups that we talk to, I don't talk about the origins of mankind too much. I've taken that part of my talk out because they look a little scared, okay? But at Disclosure Con, that whole piece is going to be in there. So we're going to be talking Anunnaki people, and it's going to be really interesting, and it's going to open your eyes just a little bit, but we want to open your eyes a little bit so that you then go home and do your own research, because you need to do that. You need to not take other people's words for things. Don't be an armchair researcher yourself. You need to go and open up a book. Watch a video, open a book, do some reading, do your own research, and become educated on the subject. So we're just planting some seeds here, and it's going to open your eyes for sure on what we think really might be the origins of mankind. We've been lied to a lot.
I'm not scared.
No? Okay.
Oh, bring it on. Yes, I'm glad. I want to hear about Anunnaki at my event, because God, there's so much that's connected to them. Even as I drive back and forth from Phoenix, when you guys drive up, you guys have been in Pine Top, right?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah.
Okay. So you've seen the view coming up through Payson and all that, the plateaus. Next time you drive up for the event, I want you to imagine you're an ant, and then think of the plateaus as tree stumps that are petrified. Because the petrified forest that we have up there, you know how they have them all lined up and they're all cut? Ever wonder how they were cut like that before they were petrified? So,
hey, that's a good point.
They don't
and here's my other observation. If you look at the plateaus, there's always dead space around it. And then if you look where the petrified forest is, it's like that. But then you have those big, what they look like tree trunks that are cut. What if those are just branches? They didn't want to take them with them. So the Anunnaki came here, carved down all of our, what was the blue Smurf movie by James Cameron? Avatar. And you got all these Avatar trees, right? Taken down by the Anunnaki for the resources as well as all the gold and all that, giving them reason to, just throwing that in there, plant that seed.
You never know.
Never know.
Lots of things are possible.
Yeah. I wish time travel was available. Let's go back and answer it. Time travel could probably be like the next Google, if you think about it. Why doesn't Google do it? You want to know what really happened? Google it. Okay, there you are.
Yeah.
The universe is infinite. So are the possibilities.
Yeah.
So.
Well, I asked Andrew Bashago if he would tell me how the Tesla jump rooms were built so I could rebuild it. And he was like, He was like, you don't want to do it? And he was like, nope, been there, done it. I'm good. So anyway, so you also do stuff that's on the ground. So in the past 15 years, minus crop circles, are there still physical evidences of like round patches and grass and stuff to this day? Or was that like just something that was happening in the 70s and the 80s?
Oh, it doesn't.
I don't hear much about that. You hear crop circles.
Yeah.
Like older documentaries on investigations, you'll see like the pits where the legs came out, the 3 tripod legs, see the imprints for that, or the burnt grass, like in Remblestein or
Rendlesham Forest.
Forest.
Yes. That left imprints, even though it said the picture showed it hovering.
Yeah.
But
there's still a lot of crop circles that are being made. You look over at what's happening in the UK, and there's a lot of crop circles that are still being made over there. So I don't know a lot of them that are happening here in the United States, but I'm not out in a lot of farmer fields anymore either. So there might be some stuff out there that people just aren't reporting. But I know in the UK, they're still having crop circles all the time.
And now with drones, you would think we would get a lot more footage. But it seems like there's been this drop off on accounts of crop circles. I mean, it's not every day like it was it's like these things are in cycles, different sightings I'm sorry?
Or at least they're not being reported like they had been.
True. But you would think with all cameras and everybody, but then again, like I said, you're just like in shock. So sometimes you don't grab your phone right away. What else? There was something else. We've been digressing. So did you guys tell me about like your craziest story, your craziest case, or the one that you can talk about, or change their names to protect the innocent kind of thing? Or is that just something you guys don't do?
Okay, there's a lot. We do get a lot of cases, interesting cases from up in the high desert, up on the reservation. There's a lot of stuff goes on up there. There's a lot goes on in the high desert area up in the Native American lands that doesn't get reported because they don't view these events happening in the sky. It's so unusual as we in the valley do. Okay, but there was a great case up there several years ago, and Stacey will mention that case in her presentation where a lady was coming home late at night.
Don't tell them.
And
You got to come on to hear that part of it. It's really cool.
Her car was being followed by an orb, and MUFON investigated it, and wow, the results, amazing. Yeah. Amazing.
Yeah, they have a lot of stuff going on up there, up on the Navajo reservation, and to them, it's just normal stuff. That's their star cruising around. They don't think it's too anomalous. So, and again, they don't want to go and report this to the white people either, because
it's
not worth it for them, obviously.
Yeah.
So they don't. But we're real good friends with the Navajo Rangers up there, and they do investigations on all the paranormal stuff that happens up there, and it runs the gamut. They've got everything going on up there, from skinwalkers to extraterrestrials to UFOs to Bigfoot up there on the Navajo reservation. So we hear a lot of stories from the rangers, and they do go out and investigate it. And a lot of times they work with MUFON, in conjunction with MUFON on these cases. So, but by the time that the people have reported it to the rangers have reported it to us, we try to set up a meeting and go up there and talk. And then the Native people up there do not want to talk to the white people about it anymore. They change their mind. So we don't get a lot of really good information that we can put down on paper or go investigate. They're just not willing to be that forthcoming with it right now.
See, here's another interesting tidbit. Phoenix in Arizona is known for the Phoenix Lights. That's our claim to fame here.
Yeah.
Phoenix Lights, of course, being still a very big deal. Stacey and I and our organization, even these 22 years later, we're still getting reports. People are calling us, and maybe someone will say, "Hey, I was 22 years old back then, and now I'm almost 50 or whatever," and they feel comfortable about talking about it now.
Mm-hmm.
Well, one thing a lot of folks don't realize is that the Phoenix Lights that we saw here in Phoenix, that was one of several craft that were seen over that period of time. And talking about the reservation area, the Navajo land up there, they saw these same craft fly over several times during a week, to the point to where the entire town would get their lawn chairs and their coolers and come out and sit in the front yard and watch this thing cruise over.
Wow.
Yeah, entire towns up there would people would come out and just sit and watch the show at night. So yeah, a lot of that is undocumented. We know because when we talk with those folks. So that's going to be another point of interest in our talk, in our presentations, the Phoenix Lights. Of course, we have to talk about it.
Yeah, there'll be some really good stuff that we're going to tell you about the Phoenix Lights during the presentation.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Fantastic.
And then also at the venue where we have our monthly Phoenix MUFON meetings, again, it's the Arizona Historical Society Museum. Well, they came to us and asked if we would like to partner with them in building an exhibit focusing on the Phoenix Lights. So of course we said, yeah. So we did this exhibit there, and it's upstairs in the museum, and it's fantastic. And they said they've gotten the most feedback on that exhibit out of any that they've had in the whole museum, which is huge. The museum is huge.
Yeah.
Wow.
So they are loving that, and they have no plans to cancel that exhibit. It's really great. So if you guys ever get a chance to come to Phoenix and go through the Arizona Historical Society Museum, you'll see it. It's really good exhibits, and it has a great timeline, and everything is really laid out clearly for people to see what happened on that date.
For the Arizona Historical Society to view the Phoenix Lights and that entire event as history worth talking about at the museum.
That says something.
That's a big deal.
That's big.
That is.
So we're proud of.
Let me say hello to a few people that came on late, and then I want to ask you about a certain video that came out recently.
Okay.
All right, so I would like to say hi to Scout, Adam, Mike, Scott, Edgar, Kim, Ruben, David, Jessica, James, Gary, Marlissa, Kimberly, Corey, Damon, Ashcroft, Amelia, or Emily, sorry, my bad, and Jamie. Thanks for joining. James says, you have two amazing guests on your show. That I do. David Dennett says, good day from L.L.C. So we got watchers in Australia, London, and a few other places. We've got people flying in from some of these countries for the event, which is just, I'm like, oh, it's got to be good now. I got to make it good. Let's see. Yeah. So the next thing I wanted to ask was, there's a video that's going around. I actually posted because it's I don't know. It's going all over Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, and all that, because there's all that battle going on right now. And it heated up, I think, on around the 17th. This video was released, and it shows military with tracer rounds just shooting at this flying object that's just going on. I mean, literally not even 100 yards away from the camera. but it looks like a glowing V, and it's just zipping. Have you guys seen this video?
Have you seen that?
I have not. No, that's news to me.
I've seen it, but that's all I know about it. I haven't had a chance even to look into that yet. But yeah, that's all I've seen is that video of those tracer rounds, just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of them going after this white light that's cruising through the sky. So I can't really tell. I haven't read enough on this yet, so
It's okay. I think I posted it on one of my pages. It's like the clearest video, but it made all of the Saudi news channels. It was a thing.
Yeah, it looks pretty cool. But we've seen a lot of really cool things that look great, but they're hoaxes. So I don't know yet. I mean, I don't really even have an opinion on that yet because I just haven't looked into it. Haven't done my homework yet.
Yeah, some say it could be a drone, but if it is, it's like an effervescent V drone because it I don't know.
Yeah,
I'll send you guys a link.
It didn't get shot down. It should have been shot down with all those rounds they were firing at, right?
It was veering through every single one of them. Even if you're a drone pilot, you're going to get shot down. You know, you can't. It's quite a crazy video. Let's see. The other thing I wanted to ask you about were the tubes, the tube ships, the long ones. They've been around, I mean, for hundreds of years in paintings. They're just like long tubes that people see in the sky. It's said that part of this
been all kinds of shapes. I mean, the unidentified flying objects come in all shapes. There's diamonds, there's cigar shapes, there's the tubes, there's
cigar, that's what I meant, the cigar shaped ship.
Yeah, that has been going on for, a long time. I don't know what to tell you about that. Cool stuff, but yeah, I don't know anything more about that than probably the common person does.
We had a sighting, I don't know, I guess it must have been about 2011, 2012. And I witnessed this myself, where there was a tube, sort of like a long glass tube in the sky, and it was lit up all the way through. And we were traveling down the freeway, heading out. It was after a meeting, after a MUFON meeting. And this thing was in the sky, and the entire neighborhoods and many people saw this thing. It was reported to us, but I got to see it myself, and I was quite amazed that it was this long. If you can imagine a glass tube, huge, and it was lit underneath, and it just slowly collapsed and then turned into a blinking light and shot off. That was one of the most amazing things I'd ever seen. And
wow.
The fellow that I was with happened to be Stan Romanek. And when we got to our destination, which was a Skywatch after our MUFON meeting, of course, everybody was talking about it. And my daughter, who lived over in one of the far neighborhoods of Gilbert, Arizona, she tried to get a hold of me on the radio or on my cell phone that night. She didn't attend the meeting, of course, but they were out in the street and the kids were playing on their bicycles and stuff, and that thing was right above them. So this was quite an interesting sighting, but there again, the tube shape, cigar shape, whatever. These objects are in our skies. We have to find out what they are. The evidence is there. I've seen it personally.
So what have you ever had a crazy idea of how can we solve this? Like everybody gets a GoPro and they all stick it on their ceiling aiming up. We connect them all together by computer. I mean, has anybody come up with some interesting concepts that you could have, like someone sees something above them, they have a special app, boom, it lets everybody know, look up now.
That has been developed.
Yeah. I was going to talk to you guys after the show about it. Darn it. I thought I was going to make some money tonight.
We know two people that are doing that. So one of them is Chris O'Brien, and he is setting up cameras all around the San Luis Valley in Colorado, which is a major hotspot for UFO activity and has been forever. So he said, and I think he's from that area, or he lived there for quite a few years. And so he knows what he's talking about. He's developed some cameras that they're putting all around there on the mountains. There's mountains on both sides, big, giant, great, snowy mountain ranges on both sides of this valley. And I've been up there twice myself, and it's a really cool place. It's got a really strange feeling about it, and it's a huge valley. I have never seen anything up there, but many people do. So he's got cameras all around here, and they are all linked. So that's one way that we can kind of hopefully track these things when they happen. Another person who has this is Mark D'Antonio, and he is MUFON's chief video analyst. And he and Doug Trumbull have put together, and Doug is a videographer on great movies, all kinds of things going on. They've come up with something that's called UFOTOG. And so they wanted to test this thing out through the Sonoran Desert here and try to, and I think they still are. It just hasn't become, in effect yet. But yeah, so these things are being talked about and being implemented, and hopefully we can get a handle on things that are happening in wider areas.
Your idea is original.
Yeah.
Right?
But it's already been yours. You just asked me about it.
Oh,
That's exactly, that's where we're going with this.
Cool.
We're getting ready. We got our cameras pointed up. The nice thing now, of course, everybody wishes the Phoenix lights would happen now, because everybody's got a 12 or 14 megapixel camera in their back pocket.
right.
We wish it would happen now,
Mhm.
because when the Phoenix lights took place,
Oh yeah.
video cameras.
That would be a great thing to see, wouldn't it?
Oh man.
Can you imagine with like a 4K camera catching
Exactly.
all the detail?
Yeah.
So, where do you see us in the next 5 years when it comes to the UFO? Do you see us still struggling to prove, or do you think it's just going to be not a non-existent argument, and government's going to have the Space Force, and we're probably going to have ship troopers or something? I don't know, but what do you guys see?
I think there's always going to be people that are going to just want to deny the reality of it, and that's okay. They can. When we discovered that the world was round, it took several generations for people to actually come to grips with that.
Right.
So no, I think we're moving forward on such a rapid scale now that 5 years from now, it's going to be an entirely different viewpoint of it. Disclosure is coming at us like a freight train.
It's here.
It's here already.
People don't want to quite admit that. They still want something to land on the White House lawn, but that's not going to happen. We are experiencing disclosure now, each and every day. Every little tiny speck and piece of evidence that comes across is disclosure. So people are calling it soft disclosure.
Yeah.
Still disclosure. It's still happening. You just, got to be not quite so greedy and want the whole thing all at once. That hardly ever happens. So it's happening. The more things that come out, the stuff the Navy has put out lately. Thank you, Navy. I mean, all of that is just some amazing stuff that's coming about, and it's about time. Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, the both of you, I am so grateful that you joined me tonight, and that you're going to be a part of Disclosure Con, and hopefully we can find you some more boots on the ground that may want to learn how to become members of MUFON, as well as your meetings. Oh, real quick, I did want to ask you, are you familiar with Stardust Ranch? I think it's near Buckeye.
John Edmonds.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've talked to Edmonds before. Yeah.
For UFO encounters or his alien encounters, or
he's got kind of a mixture of stuff going on there. So yeah, we've discussed the mixture before. Yeah.
Okay.
We haven't actually gone out and done any investigations out there.
Yeah.
But,
Well,
absolutely.
Would love to chat with you, off air about that sometime, because I might be making a trip there. I got a personal invite, so I'm trying to build the courage.
I always say, go find out for yourself.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Let us know what you find.
Let us know what you find.
Yeah, I've never really been an investigator until recently, and I just went on my first paranormal investigation in Seattle with Don Phillips, who you'll meet at the event, and I've never had doubt that there's other side there. There's other dimensions. There's aliens. I never doubted. But oh my gosh, when stuff happens to you, it just solidifies it no matter what. Yeah. I'll talk all about that when I see you guys for that weekend. So, but yeah, looking forward to having you. Oh yeah, looking forward to having you too. But thank you so much for joining me tonight. And I'm just excited. It's almost a week and a half away.
Yeah, we're almost there. Yeah.
I know. I'm like such a happy nervous. That's the only way I can describe it. And before I go, I just want to say thanks to the other people who came on: Corey, Damon, Jamie, Christopher, Jeffrey, Tiffany, Silk, Lawrence, Chris, and that's it. So anybody else comes on, you come in at the last minute, you have to watch the replay. Thank you again so much, and I look forward to having you guys at Disclosure Con. Ladies and gentlemen, Jim Mann and Stacey Wright from Arizona State MUFON and Phoenix MUFON.
Thank you
All
very
right.
much.
Thanks, Doc. Bye.
I'll talk to you all soon. Appreciate it. Or
Okay.
I'll call you afterwards.
Okay.
All right, please
All right.
do.
All right, thanks.
Bye.
Okay, folks. That's another episode, another amazing episode of 1028 Live. How I'm so blessed to have such amazing guests. I'm not going to question. I'm just going to be grateful for it. So if you don't know about Disclosure Con or you came on late, go to disclosurecon.com and get your tickets for the event. And I'll see you on the flip side. Actually, I'll see you tomorrow. Wait. Who's tomorrow? Hold on. Get you guys all pumped up for tomorrow. Here's the calendar. All right. So tomorrow we got Suzanne Ross from the SciSpy.tv network. She's going to be joining us. We're going to talk about her network and her events that she holds in Sedona. And then Thursday night, we got Joel Christopher Payne, Disney's #1 leading artist in the world. He's going to be talking, well, we're going to be talking about all kinds of fun stuff. So anyway, yeah, so that's going on. And then, oh my gosh, then we'll be a week away from Disclosure Con. Get your tickets now. Go to Lodge Bar and Grill in Pine Top, 857 East White Mountain Boulevard, next to the Beverage House. Get your tickets there or your VIP pass tickets there. Go to Sweet Peas Infusion across the street from McDonald's and Safeway in Lakeside, right there on White Mountain Boulevard. You can also get them at Big Kid Gamer Lounge in Pine Top, right next door to the WME Theater. If you haven't been there and you're into collectibles, toys, comic books, or anything, check it out. It's the place to be on the mountain. All right. So again, a lot of hearts. Thank you so much. I don't know who all the hearts came from, but God bless you. I appreciate you all. Everybody I named, Jay, thank you. Thank you. I can't do the show without you guys, like I said. So without you, be no TV, no entertainment, right? It'd just be some crazy old dude talking to himself. All right. Dave Dennis says, yeah, keep it rolling, Doc. Great stuff. Thank you so much. Appreciate you all. Silk, Jay, David Dennis, who else? James, everybody that commented. I appreciate you guys. Loving all the hearts. I'm just jibber jabbering in loops right now, so I'm going to end it right here and say good night. And Lord willing, I will see you tomorrow with Suzanne Ross. Suzanne Ross tomorrow, and then Joel Christopher Payne the next day. I got to go get some sleep. I'll talk to y'all later once I find the magic button. Good night, everybody. Yes, end meeting for all.